The city was sleeping. Rain covered the streets like a dark blanket. Streetlights flickered as thunder rolled far away. No cars, no voices, just rain and silence. In a small, old house at the edge of the city, a human man named Ethan Cole sat alone in the dark. Ethan was not special. He was not a soldier. He was not a hero. He was just a man who worked long hours and came home to quiet nights. Tonight felt different. The air felt heavy. Too quiet. Then it happened. Knock. Ethan lifted his head. Probably nothing, he told himself. Then, knock, knock. His heart skipped. Nobody visited him, especially not after midnight. He checked the time on his wall screen. 2:17 a.m. A third knock came, slower, weaker. Ethan stood up. His house had a basic security system. He tapped the wall panel and looked at the door camera. The screen glitched. Static. Then red text appeared. No human presence detected. Ethan frowned. That's not possible. Suddenly, a soft sound came from behind the door. A voice. Small. Shaking. Please, help me. Ethan's breath grew shallow. Every warning in his mind screamed at him to step back. But the voice sounded like a child. And children should not beg at doors in the rain. Ethan placed his hand on the lock. The door opened. Rain rushed inside. Standing there was a child. Not human. The child was small, thin, and trembling. His skin was a deep soft blue, glowing faintly. His eyes were too bright, filled with fear and pain. Strange light symbols moved slowly across his hand, like living marks. The child looked up at Ethan. They are close, he whispered. Please, don't send me away. Ethan could not speak. Before he could ask anything, the ground vibrated. A deep sound shook the sky. Ethan looked up. The clouds were moving wrong. Huge dark shapes floated above the city, silent and massive. Cold white light scanned the streets below. Not aircraft, not human. The child grabbed Ethan's arm tightly. They will take me, he said. They will kill my mother. Ethan felt fear rush through his body. What are you? Ethan asked quietly. The child swallowed. My mother is a princess, he said. She broke the law to save me. A loud mechanical sound echoed nearby. Metal footsteps. Scanning beams passed over the houses. Ethan's door scanner suddenly shut off. The lights inside flickered. The child gasped. His skin glowed brighter. They can smell fear, the child whispered. They do not expect kindness. Ethan did not understand what that meant, but he understood one thing. The child was hunted. Ethan stepped aside. Come in, he said. The child hesitated, surprised. You will be punished, the child warned. Ethan closed the door behind him. Then I guess we both will be, he replied. Outside, alien drones stopped in front of Ethan's house. A cold voice echoed from above, speaking in a sharp alien tone. The child pressed himself into the shadows. Ethan pulled the child into a small storage room and covered him with an old jacket. Stay here, Ethan said softly. Do not make a sound. The child looked at him with wide, glowing eyes. Why are you helping me? The child asked. Ethan paused. I don't know, he said. Maybe because no one helped me when I needed it. The scanning light swept across the house. One drone stopped. For a moment, everything felt frozen. Then, the drone moved away. The ship slowly rose into the clouds and vanished. Silence returned, but it was not peace. Ethan slid down against the wall, breathing hard. His normal life was gone. He had protected something powerful, something dangerous. Far beyond Earth, inside a massive alien council chamber, glowing figures watched the screen. Earth appeared small, weak, insignificant. One voice spoke calmly. A human interfered. Another replied, Impossible. Humans do not protect what they do not understand. The first voice answered coldly. Then Earth has changed. A red symbol appeared over the planet. Target, Earth. Status, contaminated by compassion. Back on Earth, Ethan looked at the small alien child sleeping on his floor. He did not know it yet, but by opening one door, he had challenged the galaxy. Morning did not bring peace. The rain stopped, but the air inside Ethan's house felt heavy, too quiet, like the world was holding its breath. Ethan had not slept. He sat at the small kitchen table, watching the child carefully. The blue-skinned child sat on the floor, wrapped in an old jacket, his glowing eyes moving slowly around the room. The child looked calm now. Too calm. Ethan finally spoke. "What is your name?" The child hesitated. "My name is Kale," he said softly. Ethan nodded. "Kale, I'm Ethan." Kale studied him closely, as if trying to understand what kind of creature a human was. "You should have given me to them," Kale said suddenly. Ethan frowned. "Why would I do that?" Kale looked down at his hands. The glowing symbols on his skin shifted, forming new shapes. "Because humans always choose safety," Kale said. "They choose themselves." Ethan leaned back in his chair. "Then you don't know humans very well." Kale looked confused. Ethan stood and walked to a window. Outside, the street looked normal again. No ships, no drones, just empty houses and broken puddles. But Ethan knew the truth now. Something had changed. "They were not here to arrest me," Kale said quietly. "They were here to erase me." Ethan turned slowly. "Erase?" Kale nodded. "Royal blood cannot fall into unknown worlds. If I die, my mother loses everything." Ethan felt a tight pain in his chest. "Your mother, the princess?" Kale's eyes filled with light. "She broke the law," Kale said. "She loved peace. They wanted war." Kale raised his hand. The symbols on his skin glowed bright. Suddenly, the air in the room changed. A hologram appeared. Ethan stepped back in shock. The image showed a vast alien world. Tall towers, bright skies, massive ships in the air. Then chaos, explosions, screaming, soldiers in dark armor. At the center stood a tall alien woman. She looked powerful, beautiful, broken. "She is my mother," Kale whispered. The image showed the princess running through fire, holding Kale close. Blood marked her arm. "She sent me away," Kale said. "She said humans were different." Ethan swallowed hard. "Different how?" he asked. Kale looked straight at him. "She said humans protect the weak, even when it cost them everything." The hologram faded. Silence filled the room again. Ethan felt something deep inside him shift. "So they came to Earth because of you," Ethan said. Kale nodded. Earth was marked as safe. Weak. Unimportant. Ethan let out a short laugh. "They made a mistake." Kale tilted his head. "Why?" Before Ethan could answer, a sharp sound cut through the air. Beep. Ethan's security panel lit up. "Unauthorized signal detected." Kale stood up quickly. "They found me," he whispered. The lights flickered. Outside, a low hum filled the sky. Not loud. Controlled. Ethan grabbed a metal rod from near the door. His hands were shaking, but he stood in front of Kale. "You stay behind me," Ethan said. Kale looked shocked. "They will kill you," Kale warned. Ethan's jaw tightened. "They'll have to try." The front wall vibrated. A thin blue beam cut through the air, scanning the house. A voice echoed inside Ethan's mind. "Human, step aside." Ethan felt pressure in his skull, but he did not move. "No," he said out loud. The pressure increased. Kale cried out. Ethan slammed his hand on the floor. "You don't take kids," he shouted. "Not from my house." Something unexpected happened. The beam stopped. Silence. Then the voice returned, this time uncertain. Human emotional response. Uncalculated. The signal vanished. The hum faded. They were gone. Ethan dropped to one knee, breathing hard. Kale stared at him in disbelief. "You resisted them," Kale said slowly. "No species does that." Ethan looked up at him. "Then maybe your people don't know us at all." Far above Earth, inside a cold alien command ship, alarms flashed. One officer spoke in fear. "The child is protected." Another replied sharply. "By what force?" The answer came after a long pause. "A human." The room went silent. Back on Earth, Kale looked at Ethan with new eyes, not as a weak creature, but as something dangerous, something unpredictable, something the galaxy had never faced before. And for the first time since he left his world, Cale felt hope. The aliens did not attack right away. That made them nervous. High above Earth, inside a dark alien ship, leaders watched a human city on large screens. One of them spoke calmly. Humans are weak. Their bodies break easily. Fear controls them. Another alien asked why the human refused the order. No one answered. The commander looked at the screen, showing Ethan's house. That should not happen, he said. Earth was marked again. Humans were now under observation. Inside the house, Ethan locked the doors and windows. Cale stood quietly near him. They will come again, Cale said. They will not forgive this. Ethan nodded and said he knew. Cale looked around the room and said this place could not protect them. Ethan replied that it did not need to. It only needed him. Night came fast. The air suddenly felt cold. Cale looked up in fear and said they were here. The lights went out. Glass broke at the back of the house. Something heavy landed inside. Ethan grabbed a metal pipe and stood in front of Cale. He told him to stay behind him. A tall alien stepped out of the darkness. Its eyes glowed red. It ordered Ethan to give up the child. Ethan shook his head and said no. The alien attacked. Ethan pushed a table into it and used whatever he could find. Chairs fell, and the alien hit the wall. The alien was strong. It threw Ethan across the room. Ethan hit the floor hard and felt pain spread through his body. But he stood up again. The alien said Ethan did not stop. Ethan replied that he always stood back up. Ethan smashed a flashlight into the alien's eyes. The alien screamed. At that moment, Cale felt something awaken inside him. The symbols on his skin glowed bright blue. The alien froze and whispered that royal command was detected. Then the alien destroyed itself in a bright flash. When the smoke cleared, it was gone. Ethan sat down, breathing hard. Cale stared at him and said he fought for him, and no one had ever done that before. Ethan looked at him and told him to get used to it. Far above Earth, alien leaders received a report. A hunter was lost. One of them said humans were meant to be weak. The commander replied that they were wrong. For the first time, the galaxy began to fear humans. The alien princess did not arrive with fire or noise. She came in silence. A small ship slipped into Earth's sky and hid itself above the clouds. No alarms rang. No humans noticed. Inside the ship, the princess watched the planet below. Earth looked small, blue, fragile. This was the world where she had sent her child. Her name was Lyra. She was tall, with silver blue skin and calm, sharp eyes. Once, whole fleets had bowed before her. Now, she was alone and hunted. She had broken the law to save her son. Lyra activated a hidden scan. Images appeared before her. Cities, roads, then one small house. Cale was there, alive, protected. Her chest tightened. A human stood near him, injured, tired, still standing. Lyra watched carefully. This one should have turned him in, she whispered. But he did not. Her ship moved closer and landed far from the city, hidden in a forest. Lyra covered herself with a cloak and stepped onto Earth for the first time. The air felt heavy, strange, real. She moved through the trees with care. Every sound mattered. Every shadow could hide an enemy. Meanwhile, inside the house, Ethan cleaned the broken room. Burn marks covered the walls. Broken glass lay on the floor. Cale sat quietly. They will come again, Cale said, in greater numbers. Ethan nodded. Then we will be ready. Cale looked at him. You do not understand. My people do not forgive. Ethan replied, neither do we. Outside, Lyra reached the edge of the street. She stopped and watched the house from a distance. This was where her son slept. She felt fear, not for herself, for him. Suddenly, Cale looked up. His symbols glowed softly. She is here, he said. Ethan turned. Who? My mother. Ethan froze. Before he could speak, the front door opened slowly. A tall figure stood there. The air seemed to change around her. Lyra stepped inside and lowered her hood. Cale stood up at once. Mother, he said. Lyra dropped to her knees. She held her son tightly. For a long moment, neither spoke. Ethan watched in silence. Then Lyra looked up at him. Her eyes were sharp. Careful. Powerful. "You are the human," she said. Ethan nodded. "I am." She studied his injuries. "You fought for him," she said. "Why?" Ethan answered simply, "Because he needed help." Lyra stood slowly. "My people would never do that," she said. "They protect power, not lives." She paused. "Because of you, my son lives. Because of you, Earth is now in danger." Ethan met her gaze. "Then we'll deal with it." Lyra felt something she had not felt in a long time. Respect. Far above Earth, alien command ships gathered. Signals crossed the stars. The princess had been found. Earth had been chosen. And the next move would decide the fate of two worlds. The attack began before sunrise. Earth was still half asleep when the sky changed. At first, it looked like clouds were moving too fast. Then the clouds pulled apart, and dark shapes appeared above the cities. Huge alien ships hovered silently, blocking the stars. Alarms started to scream. People ran into the streets and looked up in fear. Inside Ethan's house, Lyra felt it at once. Her eyes narrowed. "They have come in force," she said. "This is no longer a search. This is a punishment." Kale's symbols glowed bright blue. He held his head in pain. "They are angry," he said. "They want to make an example of Earth." Ethan looked out the window and saw the sky filled with ships. "So this is what weak looks like to them," he said quietly. Lyra turned to him. "You do not understand. Their weapons can burn cities in minutes." Ethan picked up his jacket. "Then we better move fast." Outside, alien fighters descended. Blue beams struck the ground. Buildings burned. Cars exploded. People screamed and ran. But something unexpected happened. Humans did not give up. Police forces regrouped. Soldiers moved civilians to safety. Old defense systems were powered on again. Missiles rose into the sky, simple and loud, nothing like alien weapons. Some were destroyed. Some were not. An alien fighter exploded in fire. The alien commanders paused. "That should not happen," one said. Back on the ground, Lyra watched humans fight back with shock. "They are not using fear," she said. "They're using anger." Ethan helped people reach shelter. He carried a child through smoke and handed her to a medic. He kept moving, even when his body screamed in pain. Kale followed closely, trying and control the energy inside him. "They will destroy you," Kale said. "Why do you still stand?" Ethan answered without stopping. "Because this is our home." A massive alien walker landed near the city center. It fired at anything that moved. Lyra stepped forward. "This one is mine," she said. She raised her hand. The air around her twisted. Energy gathered and struck the walker's core. The machine froze, then collapsed in a loud crash. Humans nearby stared in disbelief. Ethan looked at her. "Remind me never to get on your bad side." Lyra almost smiled. High above, the alien council watched the battle unfold. Human resistance was growing. Their tactics were messy, loud, and dangerous. "They adapt too fast," an officer said. "They were not meant to fight us," another replied. The commander leaned forward, then removed the child. "End this now." A new order was sent. "Target Kale." Back on the ground, Kale suddenly fell to his knees. His symbols burned painfully. "They are calling me," he cried. "They want me to surrender." Lyra rushed to him. "Do not listen. They will use you." Kale looked at the burning city, at humans fighting and dying to protect him. "This is my fault," he said. "If I go with them, the attack will stop." Ethan grabbed his shoulder. "That's what they want you to think." Kale looked up. "What if they are right?" Lyra's voice shook. "If you go, they will break you, and then they will come back for Earth." The alien ships lowered their weapons slightly. A message echoed across the city, translated into human language. "Give us the royal child. The attack will end." People heard it. Some looked toward Ethan and Kale. Fear spread fast. Ethan stepped forward into the open street. He shouted, "No." His voice was weak compared to the ships above, but it carried. We don't trade children for safety, he said. Not now. Not ever. Others heard him. A soldier lowered his weapon and nodded. A woman shouted, "He's right." More voices joined. Lyra watched in disbelief as humans stood together. They choose death over surrender, she whispered. No empire does that. Kale stood up slowly. His fear began to change. I do not want to rule through fear, he said. I want to protect like they do. The symbols on his skin changed shape. The sky shook. A wave of energy burst outward from Kale. Alien weapons powered down. Ships drifted helplessly. The alien commanders stared at their screens in shock. He is activating something new, one said. He is not obeying royal control, another replied in fear. On the ground, silence fell. The attack had stopped, but the war was not over. Lyra looked at her son with pride and fear. Ethan looked at the broken sky and knew one truth. Earth had just shown the galaxy something dangerous. Humans would not kneel, and now the aliens had to decide. Destroy Earth completely, or learn to fear it. The sky was quiet now. Alien ships hovered above, but no beams fired. The city was broken, but still alive. Humans stood together, tired but unbroken. Kale looked around. His glowing symbols pulsed slowly. He could feel every heartbeat of the people around him. He could feel their courage, their anger, their love. Lyra stood beside him. Her eyes were calm, but her voice trembled slightly. Kale, the Empire offers you a choice, she said. They want you back. They will stop the attack if you go with them. Kale's eyes widened. Go back? Rule the galaxy? The power he had always known. Or stay here with humans, the fragile, strange humans who had protected him, even when they could have abandoned him. Ethan stepped forward. He had scars on his face, smoke on his clothes, but he looked straight at Kale. You do not have to leave, he said simply. You can stay. You can choose. Kale shook his head. I cannot decide so easily. If I leave, they will stop hurting Earth. If I stay, this world is still in danger. Lyra placed her hand on his shoulder. Kale, no one will force you. You are free. The Empire cannot touch your choice. The alien commander's voices echoed faintly through the clouds. Return the child, or we destroy this planet. Kale closed his eyes. He could feel every human who had risked their lives for him. He remembered Ethan standing against a hunter alone. The firefighters, soldiers, and children running from danger. They had all chosen courage over fear. His hand glowed brighter. Energy rippled from his body. He felt the power his mother had protected in him. And the strange, new force humans had awakened in him. The force of trust, of loyalty, of love. Kale opened his eyes. I choose Earth, he said. I choose them. I choose humans. Not power. Not fear. I choose family. The humans around him gasped. Even Ethan stepped back, amazed. Far above, alien ships paused. The commanders were shocked. Impossible! The child is defying royal command. Lyra smiled softly. Tears filled her eyes. You see, Kale, they are not weak. They protect even strangers. They are your family now. The energy around Kale grew brighter. It surged into the sky. Alien weapons shut down. Ships faltered. Systems crashed. The Empire had underestimated humans. Again, Kale looked at Ethan. Thank you, he said softly. You risked everything for me. Ethan smiled, tired but proud. You don't need to thank me. We humans, we protect life. The alien commanders tried one last time to reach him. Kale's light grew stronger. I am free, he whispered, and I will not obey you. The ships retreated. The Empire realized that Earth had changed. Humans were no longer weak. They were something unpredictable. Lyra turned to her son. You made the right choice, she said. Power is meaningless without people who care. Kale looked down at the humans who had watched, protected, and fought beside him. He knew the galaxy had just learned something important. That courage, loyalty, and love were forces even the strongest empire could not control. Ethan stepped closer. Kale smiled faintly at him. Earth is safe for now, he said, but the Empire will remember. And for the first time, Kale understood what it truly meant to be a leader, not a ruler, not a commander, a protector. And humans. Humans were worthy of protection. The sky cleared, but the night was still heavy with smoke. The city was broken. Streets were cracked. Buildings burned. Fires glowed faintly in the distance. Yet, something stronger remained. Human courage. Kale stood in the middle of the street, glowing softly. His blue skin shimmered with power, pulsing in rhythm with the city around him. Every heartbeat, every footstep, every breath of the people who had fought and survived fed into him. Lyra stood beside him, watching him carefully. Her eyes were proud, but full of worry. "Kale," she said softly, "they will return. The Empire will not forget what you did." Kale looked at her. "Then we will be ready." Ethan stepped forward, his clothes torn and his face bruised. Yet his eyes burned with determination. "We humans fight differently," he said. "We fight for each other. We fight for what we love." Kale smiled faintly. "Then teach me." The air trembled suddenly. A deep hum vibrated through the ground. Far above, the alien command ships had returned, larger and more menacing than before. Hundreds of fighters surrounded Earth. Their weapons were ready. They had brought reinforcements. "This is it," Lyra whispered. "The Empire will try to take you back. They will destroy everything if they must." Kale raised his hand. His symbols glowed brighter than ever before. "Then we show them what humans are capable of," he said. Ethan glanced around at the humans who had gathered. Soldiers, civilians, firefighters, even children hiding behind rubble. They were watching. Fear was still there, but now it was mixed with courage. "Everyone," Ethan shouted, "stay calm. Stay together. Protect each other." Kale focused. The glow from his skin spread into the streets, over buildings, into the sky. Alien sensors began to fail. Beams from ships misfired. Weapons jammed. Systems went offline. The humans in the city looked up in awe as their planet's energy seemed to respond to the child who had chosen them. Lyra stepped forward, joining Kale. Together, mother and son projected a field of energy that shielded the city. Alien weapons crashed harmlessly into the invisible barrier. Then the ground shook. A massive alien walker landed near the city center, roaring with a mechanical fury. Its size dwarfed the tallest buildings. Its energy cannons glowed red. Kale's eyes widened. "This is different," he whispered. Ethan gritted his teeth. "Then we do what we do best. Fight." He grabbed a fallen beam pipe and ran toward the walker. People followed him. Soldiers fired whatever weapons they had. Rockets and grenades struck the walker, barely leaving a scratch. The walker raised its arm to strike, but Kale raised his hand. Energy surged from him into the machine. Sparks flew. Systems failed. The walker froze. Then it collapsed into rubble. The humans cheered, but there was no time to celebrate. More ships were coming. Fighters swooped low. Energy beams carved the streets. Kale's symbols pulsed faster. His body glowed with power he had never known he could control. He felt the courage of every human near him. Every act of bravery, every life saved, it all fed him. Lyra's voice was calm but firm. "You are not alone. You are a protector, Kale, not just a child, not just royalty. Protector of this world." Kale lifted his hand, and a wave of energy shot into the sky. The alien ships faltered, their weapons misfiring. One by one, fighters crashed into each other or spun out of control. The Empire's fleets had underestimated Earth. The alien commanders on the distant ships were in shock. "Impossible," one said. "Humans, how?" "They are not weak," another whispered. "And the child, he is no longer ours." Kale looked down at Ethan. "They will not leave," he said. Ethan nodded. "Then we fight. Together." Kale's eyes glowed. Symbols on his skin spread across the streets like fire. The alien ships tried to fire again, but the energy field pushed them back. Their weapons were useless. Humans were not just standing. They were surviving, resisting, living. Lyra placed her hand on Kale's shoulder. "Do not hurt them unnecessarily," she said. "Remember who we are. Protect, do not destroy." Kale nodded. He could feel the difference between power used for fear and power used for protection. He would not be a weapon. He would be a shield. One by one, the alien ships retreated. Systems malfunctioned. Commanders ordered withdrawal. Earth had survived, not because of weapons or strategy, but because of courage, because humans had chosen to protect life, even when it seemed impossible. Kale looked around at the humans who had fought beside him, who had risked their lives to save a child they barely knew. He felt gratitude he had never felt before. Ethan approached him. "You did good, kid," he said. "Better than anyone expected." Kale smiled faintly. "No, you all did good. I only followed your example." Lyra nodded. "Then you understand now. Power without love is nothing. You are strong, Kale, not because of what you are, but because of what you choose to protect." The humans cheered in small pockets of the city. The fires burned, but hope burned brighter. Kale looked at Ethan, then at Lyra, then at the city he had chosen to defend. "This is only the beginning," Kale said. "The Empire will return, but they will never underestimate Earth again." Ethan smirked. "Then we'll be ready for them. You, me, and all of us." Lyra placed a hand on Kale's shoulder. "You are not just a child anymore. You are Earth's protector." Kale raised his hand toward the sky. His glow illuminated the city. The alien fleets had retreated. Humans had survived, and the galaxy had learned something new, that even a single child, guided by courage and love, could change the fate of worlds. The city breathed in silence. Smoke rose. Fires crackled. People looked at each other, tired but alive. Kale's gaze swept across the streets. Earth is not weak. Earth is alive, and it will remain free. Ethan nodded beside him. "Then let's make sure it stays that way." And for the first time in the galaxy, humans did not just survive. They had proven themselves to be warriors, protectors, and something the universe could no longer ignore. Kale looked up at the stars. Lyra beside him, Ethan beside him. Earth had a new protector, and the galaxy would never forget it.